You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart. You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of
love. The face of love.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my
heart. You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are a part of
me.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
God. You are the face
Tu
of God.
روح خدایی.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the face of You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart. You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of love.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my
Hold you in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are a part of me.
A part of me.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
es خدایی.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face of
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the
Good morning, and welcome to Spiritual Life Center, a church that love is building.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Before our opening prayer, we want to begin by letting you know that last Sunday, we sent an email out asking people to complete and submit a survey, letting us know what you feel about the future of the church. Virtually all of the responses were highly positive, but there were so few of them that we could not, based on this, be able to continue the ministry. Now, if you do want the ministry to remain active, we have 3 days until this Wednesday, the 15th, to make a decision. So we ask that you yourself complete this survey, which is in Friday's announcement that came to you, and to submit this. Also, it might be a good idea, if it matters to you, to contact a couple of your friends in the church to see if they have responded as well. Thank you. We are so grateful that Ray Santorini is providing today's message. Ray is a national speaker and presenter to corporations and educational institutions throughout the country. And every time he speaks, he has a wonderful message. I'm still laughing over his title for this week. In a Sandpaper World, Be a Charmin. That's our favorite brand too. Let's open with prayer. We come together to praise you, dear God, to celebrate your truth, and to accept your peace and love and joy at a greater and greater depth. The Apostle Paul wrote, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." We call upon you, God, to empower us, fill us with your love, and open our minds and hearts to receive your wisdom, your understanding, and your grace, so that we might embrace and expand your kingdom here on earth. This we ask in grateful anticipation, and so it is. Amen.
Over all the earth you reign on high, every mountain stream, every sunset sky. But my one request, Lord, my only aim, is that you reign in me again. Lord, reign in me, reign in your power over all my dreams. In my darkest hour, you are the Lord of all I am. So won't you reign in me again? Over every thought, over every word, may my life reflect the beauty of my Lord. 'Cause you mean more to me than any earthly thing. So won't you reign in me again? Lord, reign in me, reign in your power over all my dreams. In my darkest hour, you are the Lord of all I am. So won't you reign in me again? Lord, reign in me, reign in your power over all my dreams. In my darkest hour, you are the Lord of all I am. So won't you reign in me again? So won't you reign in me again? So won't you reign in me again?
I bless the world with my peaceful heart. Looking at the world today, it's tempting to feel discouraged or even angry at the discord and disagreement that seem to surround me. I pause then to remember that no matter what is going on in my environment, peace begins with me. I breathe deeply and relax, softening my heart, calming my emotions, and easing my mind. I heed the words of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "Peace is not merely a distant goal we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal." These inspiring words keep me centered and committed to remaining peaceful. No matter how I choose to engage the world around me, I rise above anger and strife, and I embody peace. The way I live my life tells a lot about my character. Do my words express peace and love? Do my actions convey kindness and consideration? There is love in my heart for all humankind. I share this love freely, regardless of appearance or of what is happening in the news or in my surroundings. Choosing to see and live from the truth, I am always compassionate and peaceful in my dealings with others. It is so important to keep my thoughts and actions spiritually based. Taking time to feed my soul so I am able to stay rooted in my belief that peace for all is possible. In this way, I'm doing my part to bring the world peace. I feel blessed to be a part of this process. Every day, countless people spend time in prayer. As I join with them, our hearts and minds are linked. I hold sacred space for peace and well-being for the entire world and all of its people. Harmonizing energy radiates from deep inside me, enfolding the world in peace. This same peaceful presence lives in the hearts of all people. Together, we hold a powerful vision that heals the world. And now let's take that moment so that we can together hold a powerful vision that is now healing our world. I bless the world as I pray with others. The power of prayer amplifies the peace in my heart that radiates as a blessing to all humanity. And I ask you to join with me as I affirm peace in my heart, peace in my relationships, peace in the world. I feel oneness with all. I express deep gratitude for the inner presence that binds me to my global family. Peace in my heart contributes to the peace in my world. And now I invite you to join together with peace and with love in your heart and with the prayer that Jesus wrote. The Our Father, let us join together in singing and praying the Our Father.
Our Father, which art in heaven, Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one, and I believe it could be something good is going to come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Now I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train sounding louder, reside on the peace train. Oh, come on now, come on, peace train. Yes, peace train, holy roller, would everyone jump on the peace train? Oh, come on now, come on, peace train. Get your bags together, go bring your good friends too. Our cause is getting nearer, it soon will be with you. And come and join the living, it's not so far from you. And it's getting nearer, soon it will all be true. Oh, peace train sounding louder, everyone reside on the peace train. Come on now, come on, peace train. Now I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Oh, peace train sounding louder, reside on the peace train. Oh, come on now, come on, peace train. Yes, peace train, holy roller, would everyone jump on the peace train? Oh, come on now, come on, peace train. Yes, come on now, come on, peace train.
Nancy, thank you so much for lending your amazing voice to this service today. You did two of my favorite songs, two of the songs that I love to hear, some that I'm very familiar with. Peace Train by Cat Stevens, great song from way back when, and I kind of grew up with that song, and no one does a cappella like you do, so thank you so much for doing that. And Lord Reign in Me, which you and I and the rest of the band used to perform regularly when we were live, and I always loved doing that song. Fun one to play, fun one to sing, so thank you for doing that. Ron, I want to thank you as well for, again, another opportunity to do a talk for the church. You know, after last time we did the service a couple of months ago, Ron said to me, listen, Ray, anytime that you want to come in and do a talk, let us know. And it kind of all came about in a very special way to do today's service. And I'm going to share with everybody in a few minutes kind of how that all happened too. So the title, In a Sandpaper World, Be the Charmin, is kind of a fun one. Ron sent me an email after I sent him the title, and he was kind of giggling. You can tell when people are giggling through an email. And I love it. That came to me sort of just in a flash as well. And then I thought about this title, and I realized it can be interpreted in quite a few ways. And some of those ways may not be so pleasant when we're talking about toilet paper, right? But here's my intention about this, and I'll just share with you briefly first. One of the things that I'm known for by many of my close friends is I have some talents that absolutely get you nowhere. Okay, so like for example, I remember taglines from commercials from the 60s and 70s, and I remember jingles, right? I can sing to you the Fago jingle from way back, whatever it was, 60s or 70s. That's stuck in my head like forever. It's one of those things. And like I said, it's not anything, it's not a talent that's gonna make me any money or give me any benefits, but it's still kind of fun to share that. So when I do this, if I pick one of these up, here's my Charmin, we actually use it in our household. And I do this, it may remind you of a certain character, especially if I put my glasses down kind of on my nose like that. So some of you may remember Mr. Whipple, right, from the Please Don't Squeeze the Charmin commercials. And if you remember the tagline from that, I remember those commercials. Again, they're burned in my brain. But the main tagline was, don't squeeze the Charmin because it's irresistibly soft, right? Squeezably soft and irresistibly soft were the terms that he used, right? So today's message in 2 words is basically, how can we stay soft when the things around us in our world are very, very challenging? In other words, when I say soft, that can often be interpreted in a negative way, but I don't mean it that way. In other words, how do we keep our hearts open and pure, even though we're dealing with some of the challenges that are out there? So it was about a month ago. It was a Sunday morning, and I woke up and I went and sat on the back patio. It was a beautiful day, by the way. It was one of those days where the sky was blue and the sun was shining and there was a gentle breeze. It was just absolutely gorgeous. And, we have a new patio as of this past spring, and we have new furniture out there. And so I went out and I really had a chance to enjoy it. And I decided to go out there to do what I try to do every morning, and that is make my conscious connection with God. And so I like to sit down and close my eyes and express my gratitude. And like many of you do, I'm sure, it kind of gets you in the right mindset. And again, the skies were blue. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. There was a warm breeze. And so I felt the sun on my face, and it was absolute bliss. It was absolutely beautiful. And as I was sitting there, I became really overwhelmed as I was sort of saying my prayers and being thankful for the things I had. That feeling of gratitude really overwhelmed me. And that even made me more grateful because of the fact that I'm in the position I can feel gratitude and feel that connection with God in spite of some of the challenges that I've dealt with. And I know you all have as well. And I was grateful that I've achieved the place where I'm able to do that for the most part on a regular basis. And right at that moment when I was really feeling that ultimate bliss, the breeze picked up. And it was about a year ago from right now, actually, that I received a gift from Nancy's siblings that was sort of a memorial gift in honor of my brother passing, my brother Larry passing, which you may recall happened about a year ago. And it was a set of wind chimes. And so Nancy and I put them up at the end of the patio. And, we like to keep the bedroom window open and we can hear it blowing at night. And so we had it, I was sitting out there and all of a sudden that breeze picked up and I heard the wind chimes. And I looked over, and just to kind of give you an idea of what I saw, it looked something like this. And let me just take a second and bring this up so you can see it. So this is an actual picture. This is exactly what it was. Actually, you can see the sky is beautiful. The grass is green. The sun is shining. And there's the wind chimes kind of gently blowing in the breeze, right? And so that, as you might imagine, because I was feeling that sort of softness, that overwhelming gratitude, that kind of brought a little tear to my eye and made me feel even better about the things that were going on. So just a real closeness with God at the time. And at that same moment, my brain just became flooded with the next message that I wanted to talk about and to the church. And, it was just one of those things. I know we hear a lot of songwriters, for example, will say that songs just come to them and they sit down and they can come up with them in about 2 seconds. Well, I had one of those moments as far as this message goes. So with that, I ran inside, I grabbed a notepad, and in about 5 minutes, I wrote down 3 full pages of notes of everything I wanted to talk about. So it was one of those God moments. And just to add to that, the very next day, I received a follow-up email from Ron, who didn't know I had had this experience at the time. He was reminding me that I'm welcome to give a talk at the church whenever I felt moved to do so. So, of course, I followed up right away, responded. I said, "You won't believe what happened," but of course he does. We all do, right? When we have those God moments. And, sometimes God speaks to us so strongly, we almost have no choice but to follow his lead, right? Which is a great message to get. We all know this. I think all of us the longer I live life, and I'm sure most of you can relate to this, life isn't really meant to always go our way. Okay. I know when I was young, and I was taught to pray, I always prayed for things to go the way that I wanted, right? So, for example, when I was really young, I always prayed that I would get the Christmas gifts that I wanted, right? That was really important to me. When I got into my teens, I prayed for something that I don't even know if God can fix, and that is that the Lions would actually win a Super Bowl. But that didn't happen. Maybe that will happen in our lifetime. We'll see. We don't know. But that never happened, as many of you may know. And as a young adult, I started to pray for what I would call more meaningful things like, I hope I get the job that I'm trying to get, or I'd like to have the amount of money I'd like, or the relationship that I wanted. And I cannot tell you how many times I was disappointed because that didn't come into fruition, right? And I can look back now and say, thankfully they didn't, because there's other things that came out of those. And again, hopefully with time comes wisdom too. Throughout the Bible, we're reminded many times that life isn't meant to go exactly as we want. For example, let's look at John chapter 16, verse 33. And we are told that in the world you will have tribulation, right? So we are going to have difficulties. We're going to have challenges. It's not meant to be something that we can't deal with. Now, if you expand that verse and you look at either side of it, it looks something like this. And this is what I love about it. So in the world, you'll have tribulation, but look what precedes it. I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. But take heart, I have overcome the world. So what God gives us is, during the times of those tribulation, there is always hope in ways that we can overcome that. Now, we're also told throughout the Bible we're taught, and I love this because I share it a lot. I've shared it in previous talks that we have done, to be in the world and not of the world. And again, there's many verses that indicate that. Here's one in Romans 12:2. It says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." And notice God even gives us the instructions of how to do that, renewing our mind. So what's our role in this? Our role is what we always hear: connect with God. Keep going back to the source, right? Be in the world, but not of the world. Be of God himself, right? I've shared with you all some of my challenges, but we've all had tribulations. We've all been through it. And each of us is the sum of our own experiences. It's easy to let life harden us, so to speak, right? When that happens, we miss out on the full experience of the joys that we can have in our lives. So by strengthening our faith and our connection to God, we keep our hearts pure in spite of what's happening out there or not happening out there. And that's often tough to do. I mean, just in general, right? Throughout life, we're given challenges with losses and things along those lines. But I think today we live in an especially rough or sandpapery world, if you will. We're living in challenging times, and especially over these last 3 years, we've had the pandemic, obviously, that we're all dealing with, that can change our mindsets, that we can struggle with, the political climate and some of the divisiveness that we're dealing with. And yesterday was the 20th anniversary of 9/11, which I'm sure with all of you and me as well, brings up a lot of emotion. Everybody knows where they were and what they were thinking and feeling when this all happened 20 years ago. So this adds to everything that we're dealing with. It's easy and it's natural to feel anger, frustration, fear, and sadness. But when we allow these states of emotion to persist, a built-in protection or survival mechanism tends to kick in. And we've all heard of it. It's that fight or flight mechanism. It puts us on the defensiveness. And when we're defensive, we're less able to give and to receive. And it can appear to us very easily that God has disappeared from our lives. And you know, for some of us men, it can be especially challenging to try to be the charmin. You know, we're taught very often from an early age to be tough, to handle things, that we have to rise above challenging situations. When I was young, some of you know the story, my father passed away when I was 11 years old. And about 10 years later to the day, almost exactly to the day, my brother Bill passed away suddenly as well. And without going into all the details, one of the coincidences, I guess you might say, is the funerals for each of them were held in the exact same funeral home, in the exact same room, and in the same end of the room was where their caskets were. So obviously, going back for my brother's situation, it was brought up a lot of old emotions about my father from when I was younger. And when my father had passed away, my brother Bill, the same brother, at the funeral, I was 11 years old. He took me out for a walk, and he was very stoic, and he kind of stayed above it all, and allowed me to cry, and it was very encouraging and comforting for me. And I really appreciated that strength. Well, when it came time, when my brother passed away, his son at the time, my nephew, was 13, so almost the same age. And I recalled us, and I was trying to be the same way. I was trying to go out and hold on and be tough and that type of thing. And I found I had a lot of difficulty doing it. I was kind of tearing up during our walk. We went for a little bit of a walk, and I came back, and then I finally took him in, and I had to go outside the funeral home and I just broke down and lost it. And my brother-in-law at the time, who I always admired for his toughness as well. And later I realized that wasn't necessarily a strength, but more of a facade to protect himself. He came out and saw me crying. And as you might imagine, when somebody is uncomfortable with that, he kind of got on me, and he said, "You really need to stop crying and be a man." And I remember hearing that and thinking, boy, everything I'm trying to, being myself isn't okay. And it wasn't long after that I started attending the Church of Today and learning about the unity principles and, letting your emotions flow. And thankfully, thank God that I did that, because now I'm able to feel all the great things that life has to offer. I remember Jack Boland, when he was going through his cancer prior to him passing away, many times he opted out of the painkillers because he said, I want to experience life. And I remember him saying, we can't experience the highs if we don't allow ourselves to experience and feel the lows. And as a result, now I cry all the time. Nancy teases me a lot. We can be sitting around watching television, and I'll tear up, and I do it more often than not. I think the other day we were watching some type of a comedy, and there was sort of what I would call a soft scene where it wasn't really comedic, but it was something else. And I got a little teary-eyed, and she kind of looked over at me and she said, "You're actually crying, aren't you?" And it was kind of funny. And I tried to hide it, because there's that still part of me that says, well, I shouldn't be doing this, but for the most part, I'm okay with it. And everything worked out all right. But again, the point is, I wouldn't trade this for the world, because we can't feel the ups in life if we don't allow ourselves to feel the downs. So I think it's really worth it to find a way to soften ourselves, right? And I've learned, as I said, that it's actually a sign of strength to be able to feel yourself all the way through, and all the different emotions, a range of emotions that we have. So one of the things I always pray to God to do is to remove, and I have sort of an image, remove the crust around my heart that's formed by the sandpaper world, right? How can I take that away, that protection, so that I can actually feel what I'm dealing with? So we've talked about what we want to be able to do, and the question becomes, how do we do this? What does it take to make that happen? Well, a couple of things I've learned, again, just throughout life and through Unity teachings, is number one, to become humbled. And what I mean by that is to realize I can't do it alone. And it's very similar to following the first of the 12 steps and realizing I'm powerless to do it myself. I really need God. I have to turn it over to God to help carry me through the challenges that I'm dealing with. Some of you may recall in the last talk we did that we called that spiritual intelligence, and it paralleled the concept of emotional intelligence. And we talked about 5 different competencies of what that is. The first one you may remember was self-awareness. It's the ability to know kind of what's going on within us. So now I've gotten to the point, just because this conscious contact with God on a regular basis, I'm now to the point that when I start to feel the overwhelm of the world around me, my quickest thoughts are to turn toward God and to realize I've probably separated myself from him. He's gone nowhere. It's not that he's left me. I've separated myself from him with my own thoughts. And once I'm able to recognize that, and that's an application of that self-awareness that we just mentioned, I then say, what do I need to do to take action to reconnect? So talk to God. I talk to God. And as I said earlier, I ask him, please remove the crust around my heart and get it pure and help keep it pure. And also, and we talk about this all the time, look for what we can be grateful for, right? There's always something to be grateful for. It could always be worse. And sometimes just adopting that attitude can help us change our mindset. There's that old saying, we say it all the time, what we focus on keeps expanding. So if we're focused on what's lacking in our lives, we tend to see more lack. If we focus on what we're grateful for, that heart tends to fill up even more. And that's been my experience, and I'm sure many of yours as well. I've also found this. The reason that it's important for me to do this every day, it's like exercise, right? You can't exercise one time or get in shape and then stop. You've got to keep on doing it because life keeps handing us sandpaper, right? We have to keep on doing what we can to stay ahead of the game. The more I practice this, the more consistent I am at putting this into practice, the faster I'm able to achieve that connection with God. In other words, I can catch it faster, catch that I've disconnected from him, and then I can find a way to make that connection more effectively. So one thing I'm always grateful for, I always give thanks for every time I connect with God, is that ability to be the shaman in the sandpaper world. Again, that softness that comes over me, which I can tell you that 30 years ago, 20 years ago, that was something I never would have hoped for. I would have hoped for, how can I be harder? How can I be, be more protective and be stronger? What I thought was strength was to cover up those emotions. So here again is that picture I shared with you earlier of the wind chimes in the backyard. And as I described that scenario to you, you could tell, hopefully you could tell, it was a God moment for me. I mean, it's a beautiful day, as you can see, and the sound of the wind chimes and the warm breeze and everything else, and the reminder of my brother. But the amazing thing about God is he gives us these great moments, and then oftentimes there's more to come. He's not done. There's still more to be added to it. And, we're always told that abundance and there's never ending love and opportunities for joy that come from God if we really just keep our eyes open. So if you look a little closer, you can see there's a little something dangling off of the end of the wind chimes. I took a close-up of this, and I had forgotten that it's on there, but you can see it reads, "In loving memory of your beloved brother, Larry." I'm getting a little soft right now as I talk about this. But I remembered that, and I looked at that, and I don't even need to tell you what I experienced next. You probably know. Pretty much the emotions came out in an uncontrollable way. So it's pretty incredible when you really do all you can to connect with God, and keep yourself soft. Ask him to help keep you, like the shaman, keep your heart open and pure. It's amazing what some of your experiences can be. As we said, the Bible reminds us that life is all about ups and downs. But by consciously practicing the presence of God and establishing our connection with him, we can learn to embrace it all and live our lives in a state of joy. Now, let's watch a brief video that will remind us of how much we have to be grateful for, even when we're living in a sandpaper world.
Wasn't that a wonderful reminder that not everything is locked down? Ray Santorini, thank you so much for your wonderful message. We'll long remember that. And we invite you now. We're so grateful that you have joined us this day and hopeful that it has furthered your spiritual experience. We ask that you join us in the prayer of sharing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And there are three ways to give. The first is through online giving, where you go to our website, www.slctroy.com/give. The second is to mail to Spiritual Life Center, 41340 Fox Run Road, number 106, Novi, Michigan, 48377. A one-time gift or money order check. A third is to call me on my cell, 248-925-6214, with credit card information for a one-time charge. We want to welcome any newcomers, those of you who are listening in for the first time, one of your first times. We invite you to go to our website, www.slctroy.com, and check Join Email up in the upper right-hand corner. And this will allow us, once you enter your email address, we will be able to keep you informed of events here at the church, at Spiritual Life Center, and also to send you the link to each of the services upcoming. If you have a prayer request, we would be happy to have our powerful prayer team support you in that. And you can send those prayer requests to ronaldfscott@gmail.com or call the cell 248-925-6214 and let us know who you would like to have prayers for. You may also contact Silent Unity 24/7 for their prayer chaplains on one of their prayer lines by dialing 1-800-NOW-PRAY. We do forward all these prayer requests not only to our 30-person prayer team, but also to Silent Unity, where they are prayed over for 30 days. We want to once again remind you to let us know of your desire of maintaining the church by completing the survey that was sent to you last Sunday, or you may find it also in the announcement that went out on Friday, September 10th. So please complete that and send it to us by this Wednesday for us to know whether you would like this ministry to continue on. We also want to make you aware that we have a picnic coming up on September 25th. That's just a week from Saturday. It will be at the Firefighters Park in Troy, once again, where we've held the last couple of picnics. It will start at noon. Bring your own lunch, and music is going to be provided by Ray Santorini and Tony Camilletti. Once again, our wonderful musicians. We are so grateful for them. And with that, we invite you to our Zoom coffee hour immediately following the service or at 11 o'clock, whichever is sooner. You should have received an email with a link for this time of connection. If not, please contact us and we'll let you know how to do so. And now let us join together in our peace song and benediction. God bless.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now as you go forth, know that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you.
The Lord bless thee and keep thee.
The power of God protects you.
The Lord make his face to shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee.
The presence of God watches over you.
The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee, and grant thee peace.
Wherever you are, God is.
Amen. Amen.
Go your way rejoicing. All is truly well.